Years ago, there were many songs written about mothers. You know, like Mammy and Island Must Be Heaven. Mom, they're making eyes at me, my mother's eyes. But nobody ever wrote any song about fathers. Father was the town schlemiel in almost every place. He was nothing. Mother was the boss. I think there were two songs that I remember. Pop Goes the Weasel. And Oh, What a Crumb Is My Old Man. And I remember one more song. It was called Everybody Works But Father. He sits around all day, feet in front of the fireplace, smoking his pipe of clay. Mother takes in washing, so does Sister Ann. Everybody works on our house, but my old man. That was a big hit, that song. And they even sang it in Europe and Germany. Alles schafft aber nicht Vater, geht den ganzen Tag herum und raucht die verdammte Pfeife. Das alles geht drüber und drum. Und Mutter nimmt den Washing und auch die Schwester an. Alle arbeiten in unser Platz, aber nicht der alte Mann. I have a friend in Hollywood. I think I do, I'm not so sure of it. His name is Harry Ruby. And he wrote a lot of songs that I have sung over the years. Today, Father is Father's Day, and we're giving you a tie. It's not much, you know, it is just our way of showing you we think you're a regular guy. You say that it was nice of us to bother, but it really was a pleasure to fuss. For according to our mother, you're our father. And that's good enough for us. Yes, that's good enough for us. Okay. All I can tell you about Margaret Dumont, who was Mrs. Rittenhouse in our picture. We did a picture, it was a war picture. And a shell came through the window. And I rushed over and pulled the shade down. And she said, "Otis, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm fighting for your honor, which is more than you ever did." Then we were on the boat, and I had 2 suitcases. Mrs. Rittenhouse was in back of me. And she said, "Otis, have you got everything?" And I said, "I haven't had any complaints yet." I was in a building called the Thalberg building. It was a building that was built to honor Irving Thalberg, who was our producer at MGM. And a woman backed into the elevator. And this woman was wearing a hat. I have nothing to do, I'm bored. So I take the back of the hat and I push it up. And I turn around and it's Greta Garbo, the biggest star in all of show business. I didn't know what to say. And finally I said, I'm terribly sorry, but I thought you were a fellow I knew from Kansas City. I was once invited to Cecil DeMille's projection room, and they were running Sampson and Delilah with Hedy Lamarr and Victor Mature. I'm sure many of you had seen that picture sometime or other. So when Cecil DeMille came up to me when the picture was over, and he said, how did you like the picture? I said, it'll be a failure. And he said, why? Why will it be a failure? Well, because you got the characters wrong. Victor Mature has much bigger knockers than Hedy Lamarr. And they never asked me at the Paramount again. I remember playing baseball with Will Rogers in Baltimore. In those days on the Keith circuit, they used to have teams. And our team would be the Marx brothers and a few other players. And Will Rogers was playing second base. And I got on first base, and I ran to second base, and I slid in there. And Will Rogers was standing about 20 feet in front of second base. And he turned around to me and he said, you're out. I says, how can I be out? You got to touch me with the ball on second base, don't you know that? And he said, Groucho, at my age, wherever you stand is second base. It's a true story. I've always had trouble with priests. I was married by a rabbi, I think. I'm not sure of that. I think my grandfather had bought a speech for $5, and all the brothers used that speech. My dear parents, for many years you have toiled and labored for my happiness. We had no idea what the hell we were talking about. But we did the whole thing, and it was only $1 apiece for each speech. I was in the Plaza Hotel, and there's a priest standing there. And he recognizes me. He says, aren't you Groucho Marx? And I said, yeah. He says, my mother's crazy about that quiz show you do. And I said to him, I didn't know you fellas had mothers. And I continued, I said, I always thought it was Immaculate Conception. Then I was in Montreal. I made a quick exit out of the elevator. I was in Montreal, and a priest comes up to me, puts out his hand, he says, I want to thank you for all the joy you put into this world. And I shook his hand, and I said, and I want to thank you for all the joy you've taken out of this world. He said, could I use that next Sunday in my sermon? I said, yes, you can, but you'll have to pay the William Morris office 10%. I was in Italy, I was in Rome. Wonderful city. And I just lit $1 cigar, and I was walking to the corner, and somebody bumped against me. This is $1 cigar, I wasn't going to let it lay there. So I reached down to pick it up and it says, Jesus Christ. And I turn around, there's two priests standing next to me. And one of them had bumped against me. And he reached in here and pulled out 2 cigars. He says, Groucho, you just said the secret word. I think we ought to sing Show Me a Rose. innocent songwriters started writing songs. They have written songs about the rose. Red roses, blue roses, old roses, new roses, roses from the north and south and west. But here's the rose song that I love the best. Show me a rose and I'll show you a girl who cares. Show me a rose or leave me alone. Show me a rose and I'll show you a storm at sea. Show me a rose or leave me alone. She taught me how to do the tango down where the palm trees sway. I called a rose a mere, and she called a spade a spade. Show me a rose and I'll show you a stag at bay. Show me a rose or leave me alone. One night in Bixby, Mississippi, we watched the clouds roll by. I said, my dear, how are you? And she whispered, so am I. Show me a rose and I'll show you a girl named Sam. Show me a rose or leave me alone. Show me a rose, a fragrant rose. Make believe that you don't know me until you show me a rose. Lydia, oh Lydia, say have you met Lydia? She has eyes that men adore so, and a torso even more so. Lydia, oh Lydia, that encyclopedia. Lydia, the queen of tattoo. On her back is the Battle of Waterloo. Beside it the wreck of the Hesperus too. And proudly above waves the red, white, and blue. You can learn a lot from Lydia. La, 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 la. When a robe is unfurled, she will show you the world. If you step up and tell her where. For a dime you can see Kankakee or Paris or Washington crossing the Delaware. Oh Lydia, say have you met Lydia? Lydia the tattooed lady. When her muscles start relaxing, up the hill comes Andrew Jackson. That encyclopedia, Lydia the queen of tattoo. For 2 bits she will do a mazurka in jazz, with a view of Niagara that nobody has. And on a clear day you can see Alcatraz. You can learn a lot from Lydia. La 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 la. Come along and see Buffalo Bill with his class. Just a little classic by Mendel Picasso. Here's Captain Spaulding exploring the Amazon. Here's Godiva but with her pajamas on. La 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 la. Oh say, have you met Lydia? Lydia, the queen of them all. She once swept an admiral clear off his feet. The ships on her hips made his heart skip a beat. And now the old boy's in command of the fleet. For he went and married Lydia. I said Lydia.
He said Lydia.
I said Lydia.
He said Lydia.
Olé!